I should probably just repeat what I just said. So tonight, tonight we're going to go literally step by step through getting the 4-week gut protocol launched. Even if you're starting like at ground zero, literally no idea what you're doing. But I'm also going to throw in some awesome tips for those of us who have been around for a while. So super excited about that. But just because I'm recording this and it's being sent to others doesn't mean you can't ask questions, because they're probably going to have those same questions. So if you're on here live and you have questions, type it in the chat and I'll go over those answers, and then it'll be recorded so you can refer back to at other times. Okay, so let's get started first of all. And even if you're listening to the replay, you actually have more advantage here because you're going to be able to click pause when you're thinking about things. But the reason why I want you to bring your notebook is because it's important to start jotting down ideas of when I'm asking these questions. You can answer them yourself right now while you're actually thinking about them. So when it comes, first things first, I want to know if you are excited to do the 4-week gut protocol. I know I am super excited. I'm also really nervous because I know I am not going to be drinking my Starbucks for those 4 weeks until I can test it and see if it actually works with my body. So I'm a little addicted, but we all have our addiction. So whether it be chocolate or coffee or wine or whatever it is, we are going to cut it out for 4 weeks. Okay. And so the way you feel about this, I want you to jot that down. So I want you to jot down what you're excited about. But see, at first, we kind of sometimes think about the negative things first. So feel free to also jot down the things that you're nervous about. Okay. Because we have to remember that just because, whoops, oh, I'm sorry. I want to let her know this. It's in group chat on Facebook. Okay, sorry. So I should probably put this on mute so we don't hear it dinging. Okay, so just because we have to remember that everybody else is feeling very similar things to what we're feeling. So what are we excited about? And what are we nervous about? And I really want you to just brainstorm these things. So off the top of your head, you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Give me something that you're excited about. I'm going to write down while we're doing this as well. So give me something that you're excited about. I personally am super excited about really getting a better idea of what affects my body, right? Really diving in and being like, oh, maybe I never thought about the fact that my coffee might be the thing that's giving me issues, right? Or maybe it's not the coffee at all. I'm excited because I learned that it's not the coffee and I can put it back in my, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to see what it is of how each item actually affects me in like a protocol, in a way of really testing it out, because you really do have to test it out. You can't just like it's hard to figure things out on a whim. Like you have to test it out and go through a process. And so I'm excited about that. What are some things that you're excited about? Go ahead, Kristen.
One, my face has been breaking out badly. Don't know why, so I'm sure that's it. The extra belly bloat would be quite lovely to see that go. And then to see how it helps me manage stress and anxiety, especially at work. So I'm really excited to see, like, doing the ultimate reset was good, but I was told what to eat, when to eat, how to eat it. And I felt really good, but I don't know what was, like, when I put stuff back, what were the triggers to say maybe we shouldn't eat that anymore. Like, that's, I'm intrigued to see the difference between programs, and maybe it'll be more sustainable for the long haul instead of going back and doing it over and over again.
Yeah, I'm excited about that for my customers, because that was one of the biggest problems with Ultimate Reset is we didn't have a really good system to get them back into their life. I mean, there's only so much you can say in Ultimate Reset, and then you're like, I'm not sure what to send you into next, right? So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that as well. Oh, sorry. What else? The puppy got sick, by the way, last night. So he's doing much, much better now, thank goodness, because I was about to take him to the animal hospital because he was like throwing up and everything. Anyway, that's not for tonight. Anyway, so excuse the yawn. Okay, so yes, I'm excited about I actually wrote down bloating as well. Bloating, what is the thing that's causing it? Belly bloat, stress, anxiety. I think those things are really key. A lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. All right, let's go over the negatives. What is something that you're nervous about? What are you nervous about doing this? I already stated my Starbucks. I'm nervous about giving up my Starbucks for 4 weeks. Yes, I am. But what it could be so simple or it could be complicated. It doesn't matter. What is something that you're nervous about? Anybody?
So part of me that I'm nervous about is I know at least 2 of the weeks I'm traveling for work.
Mm.
And so just trying to figure out, right, making sure I'm able to stay on track because I know there's going to be client dinners and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you dead set on starting during this, or are you thinking about starting it after?
I may try to do like a portion of it, like in terms of, do I start maybe more with do the workouts until I get those 2 weeks out of the way, because it's 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week, or 1 week travel, 1 week not, 1 week travel, and then I'm done. And so thinking maybe I start with, because I haven't been able to work out in a while either.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe I start there first and then go the other way.
Yeah. Well, that we can go back and forth about that if you want to chat about it. That's totally cool. I did watch the videos already, so I can give you a little bit more insight for the meals and what to eat and everything. That being said, I know your traveling is sometimes different than others in the fact that it's for work and sometimes you have a full kitchen access. I don't know if that'll be a thing this time.
Nope. Nope.
All right, well, we can talk about that definitely, but that's a really good thing to bring up because sometimes I actually tell people not to do it, and traveling is one of those things where they're like, well, I'll be on vacation, and in anything else, I might say no big deal, but when it comes to something that's like this, in the fact that they have to be able to like a slip up when it comes to like weight loss, like a splurge is a splurge. It doesn't matter, right? They can have a splurge and it's not going to totally derail them. But if you're trying to understand your body and like doing testing and stuff, then you really need to stick to what it's saying so that you can actually feel what's going on, right? So, but this is the first time we did it, so we're not sure yet. So we can talk about the ins and outs of that and try to decide. But yes, I've talked to people who were like, well, I'm on vacation like the first week. And I'm like, well, why don't you start a week later? Do you know what I mean? So we can definitely talk about that. So here's the thing, when it comes to what are you excited about and what are you nervous about? Samantha, you can have caffeine. I wouldn't be worried about that. I'm not giving up all coffee. I'm just giving up Starbucks. Really, I'm giving up that because I like the sweet cream, and the sweet cream is the thing I shouldn't be having for this. So you don't have to give up coffee. You can have Energize once a day, and you can have coffee a couple times a week. She says about 1 to 3 times a week. The one girl I just interviewed, she did coffee every day. she was in the test group. She did coffee every day. So really it's really up to you, but you can have caffeine. So hopefully that's not a big thing. Sticking to meal planning. Yes, that would be something that you can write down as well. Meal planning. So the reason why we want to write these things down and jot them all down is because we want to share our experience. And one of the things about sharing your experience, if you have to understand this, sometimes we are so hard on ourselves about how we write things, why we write it, blah, 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 right? Do I want to share this? Do I want to share that? Do I want to, I need to make myself look like I'm actually following this and everything. But what we realize is that movies are a big deal when it comes to transformations, not because of the first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds, and then you have a 1-minute movie showing the beginning and the end, right? It's the middle part that gets people, that brings them in, that makes them hold their attention. So it's not the beginning and the end picture, that before and after picture, it's the process in the middle. And people watch movies when they see a struggle, right? So do you remember the show The Biggest Loser? I don't know if it's still out there, I don't know, but they really hone in on the struggle. Why? Because it keeps people's attention. People want to see the struggle. So I'm not saying to sit there on social media and fail and fail and fail and fail, but what I'm saying is sharing the things that you're struggling with while you're actually creating some results is what people want to see, right? That's what gets them wanting to watch. So keep that in mind. Follow it as it's supposed to be done, but share the struggles along the way. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to really make sure that you have this like brainstorm of what are you excited about? What are you nervous about? Because we'll turn them into posts. We can turn them into posts, we can turn them into stories, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's talk about now. Why now? Why this program, and how can it help me? So I think we all know why it can help us. If you don't need to know, then you need to watch the info again, the sizzle reel, and maybe some of the interviews. I'm interviewing another person this weekend on Saturday who went through the process in the test group. So we have two, that was really cool. We had two like test group people that we got to interview, which is just awesome. So Saturday morning, be there and listen to it, and you can jot down more ideas of what you're excited about and what you're nervous about. Okay, so every single time I launch a new program or even just set up my month, there's 5 questions I ask myself. Why am I excited about it? What do I want to get out of it? Which we just talked about. 2, when is my group starting? Like, these are literally things that trip me up. If I don't have the answers, then I literally sit still and do nothing. And they're simple questions, but you have to have them answered, or else you just sit around and twiddle your thumb and think about how you should be building your business. Have you ever done that? Have you ever just like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed about work, about my business, and you're not even doing anything about your business. You're just thinking about your business, and that's stressing you out. And then you're not doing anything, and it's making you think about it more. And oh, so stressful. So the clarity piece is the piece that will get you through that. So number 1, what am I about to do? Why am I excited about it? What am I going to get out of it? So in this case, it's a program, 4-week gut protocol. Answer those questions for yourself. Number 2, when is my group going to start? Well, the group that I'm running starts on April 4th, and I'd love for you to invite to it as well. So April 4th is the group, and we'll go over all of those things about the group in a minute. Number 3, who can I invite, right? So who can I invite? We'll go over that next. Number 4, what am I going to say? We'll go over that next. And that one really trips me up too. I might have the first 3 and then I'm like, why am I sitting here not doing anything? It's because I didn't write down an invite, right? Or I question my invite too much. And then I have to ask everybody else about their opinion on my invite instead of just doing it and seeing how it goes, right? And then number 5, how do I get them started? Okay, those 5 questions will help bring you clarity and get you into action. A lot of times we don't go into action because we just don't have the clarity around something. And confusion, we can't use it as an excuse. We can't be like, well, I'm overwhelmed and confused. It's not an excuse. We have to actually do it. You ready? So let's go through it. Okay, let me give you the details about the gut protocol group that we're going to do. April 4th, we're going to do one after that in May. It'll probably be the 2nd week in May, and I'll give you the date when I have it, but I don't have it right now. Where are we going to do it? I think we should just do it in our normal BOD group. We could do that, or we can add another BOD group, but I wanted to ask you guys your opinion. I think it would be better. Well, it's up to you guys. I personally think it's always easier for me to check into one group, not 2.
have a
Yeah.
hard enough time doing bod group and our Facebook group. Like it's either one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's as far as it gets. So
So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, why don't we just stick with one group, and we can share the posts. If somebody wants to help me schedule posts, that would be great, because we can just share the responsibility of scheduling posts. So if anybody wants to help with that, let me know. It's really simple to do. Excuse me. And you can schedule them out, so they don't have to be, it's not like you have to wake up every day and schedule and do a post. You can schedule them. So if anybody wants to help that, let me know, and I'll share with them how to do it. The posts are already made, so it's not like we have to create the posts. Okay. Also, weekly coaching calls. We're gonna have weekly. I love doing this, and honestly, it's one of my favorite things. The group itself on bod groups, it's okay. I'm all right with it. I think some people love it, but I like getting on a Zoom once a week when I'm doing a program with people. I like to go over the past week. I like to see where people are struggling. I like to do a Q&A. I like to celebrate people's success for the week. I think it makes a big difference. I remember when I was in Weight Watchers, going once a week was like your commitment, right? You committed to it. And so this is going to be 6 weeks of calls. One is going to be the week prior to starting, and then each week of the 4 weeks, and then the last one will be like a celebration. So the dates, if you want to write them down, are going to be really simple actually to remember. It's 6 weeks starting March 31st, which is Thursday at 8:30, because I figured we can all do it. 8:30 on Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then 6 weeks out from there. So that's if somebody wants to tell me those dates, that'd be great. Actually, I'll just pull it up. But it's the 31st, and then I think the 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, and May 5th. Okay. So we'll be doing that as well. The other thing we have for people are the texts from Autumn, but we'll just explain that to them as, in the group as we go. On day 1, you text Autumn, this auto text thing, and then she'll text each person individually throughout the process to keep everybody inspired and motivated and give them tips, which I think is fabulous. And then also we, as coaches, have the opportunity of being in a bod group with her so that she can tell us more that we can bring to our group, which was great. And for you guys, I also wrote down a whole email, a welcome email. So for anybody who you get started, you can just send them off this welcome email. It already has the dates for the coaching calls in there. It already tells them what to do to get started. So I have that for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. So there you go. You already have the how do I get them started part done. You have the when is my group starting? That's done. Why am I excited and what am I going to get out of it? I'm pretty sure that part's done as well. So who can I invite and what am I going to say? So here's the deal. Colleen, even if you're not starting with us on the 4th, you can still invite people for the 4th. Don't feel like, like that can hold you back, because you're going to, maybe I'm putting this in your head, but you can trust us.
Oh yeah, I can trust you guys.
We would love to have your people in the group. Okay. So let's talk about who am I going to invite. Now, anybody who's watching this, we're all in different areas of our business. Okay. Some of us have past customers. Some of us are just starting. Some of us have coaches. So the very first person that you're going to start with is, if you have coaches, you're going to start with your coaches. So you're going to make a list, and all of us are going to make a list. Okay. And you're going to start, number 1, with your coaches and your downline. That's number 1. Hence the reason why I'm talking to you guys, because you want coaches in my downline, right? Okay. So coaches and downline. Number 2, past customers. Those 2 groups of people are the first group of people you should be talking to. Definitely. Okay. And we'll go over what to say in a minute. Number 3, your friends and family, coworker, spouse, people who are like in your super, I would call this like your super warm market. right? They're close to you, your close friends and family, coworkers, whatever, people who you see in person. Okay. And then lastly, social media, people who are liking, commenting, write these all down. Okay. Liking, commenting, watching your stories, and just people who are friends with you or following you if we're talking about Instagram. Okay. Those are all your warm market. Anybody who likes your stuff, anybody who's commenting, anybody who's watching your stories, anybody who you're just friends with on Facebook, even if you never post or comment or put things on your stories, it really does not matter. It truly does not. And anybody who is following you on Instagram. So why do I say it doesn't matter? Well, it really doesn't matter. I know a girl who does a network marketing company, right? She's pretty successful. She makes good money. She never posts on social media. Literally, I don't even know she's on social media. Okay. But she still reaches out to her friends on social media. Just because she doesn't post doesn't mean she can't build a big business. Doesn't mean she can't invite people to join her. Doesn't mean she can't offer an opportunity or a product or something to them. Okay. It really doesn't matter. They're friends on social media. She can reach out to them. And I'm going to show you the way to reach out without sounding salesy or whatever to them. Okay. So those are the people that literally in that line, I would do that. Okay. So who to invite, taken care of. I don't care who you are. That's a long list. I don't care if you're a hermit, you still have a pretty big list, right? That's a pretty big list. And I don't really associate a lot with hermits. So I know you guys aren't hermits. So like you have some sort of friends and family, right? Okay. So you're going to want to make that list. Okay. Really brainstorm, make the list, make it. I mean, seriously, I'm not kidding. Make it for like 100 people. Start with 100, make the list, but don't stall if you don't have 100 people on your list. Okay. Make it for 20, invite the 20, make another 20, invite the 20, make another 20, invite the 20. Okay. So make your list from there. So what should we say? I'm going to break down an invite real quick for you because I think this is really important. I want your invite to be in your words, not mine. I want you to love it. I want you to be excited about sending this to somebody because I want it to be from you, not from me. Okay. But I'm going to share with you the structure of my invite because the structure of your invite is important. Anytime you message someone, especially if it's like off the cuff, like, I mean, you're messaging someone who you went to high school with, you never talked to them, you're never post on social media, you haven't talked on social media in forever, but you're friends on social media, right? So they're going to ask a couple questions in their head without actually asking, but they're going to be like, okay, who are you? What do you want? And why me? Right? Basically, who are you? What do you want? And why me? The who are you part, we don't need to worry about that right now because we're not talking about cold messaging people we don't know. We're not door knocking right now. We're just talking about people we already know. They already know us. We already know them. So we don't need to worry about that part. But what do you want and why me? Those are questions that are really important. And now I want you to write these down because these are the fundamentals of an invite. You ready? It needs to be so short. I mean, short enough that when I look at my phone and it has an alert of a message, I can read the message. Right? Like, I mean, short. And it needs to be intriguing, right? You can't like throw up all over them in the invite. They need to be like, oh, maybe, yeah. Okay. That answer, oh, maybe, yeah, or sure. If you can get a lot of sures, you know you got to get a good invite. Okay. And let me tell you one of my invites I used to use a lot. I kind of still, I use it all the time. So let's say we're inviting for Week Gut Protocol. Hey, Colleen, I just wanted to reach out because I started this new thing with my husband. I'm super excited about it. I thought of you because I just saw you liked one of my posts. If I sent you the info, would you let me know if you're interested? If not, no worries. Okay. So I really didn't say anything about what it is. I just kind of said something like I'm starting a new gut health program. That's what I'm telling people. I'm starting a new gut health program. I'm starting it in April. I'm really excited about it. And I want to invite you to join us. If I sent you info, would you let me know if you're interested? If not, no worries. Okay. So that end part is really important. And you don't have to use my words, but you have to understand why I'm saying it. Okay. When you ask them, first of all, the whole invite in general, you're asking them if they want to check something out. You're not asking them if they want to do it with you. You're saying, hey, are you open to checking out what I have? That's really what you're asking them. Are you open to checking out what I have? That's it. This is why we don't give any information, because you're really just sifting through people at this point. Are you open to checking out what I have? Okay, that's like literally it. And then at the end, you say something like, if not, no worries, or no biggie, or whatever. And let me explain why. And I love this explanation. I think it's so amazing. If you, let's say in high school, let's say I don't know how to explain it. Okay, I'll explain it this way. Say there was a dude and he was like totally trying to get a girl, right? And he's like asking them, and he's like, too forward, right? And the girl's gonna be like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. Hey, do you want to go out? You want to go out and do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Da, 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 right? And so if they're too like aggressive, you're like, yeah, right? Even if you were interested at one time, you're like, oh, he's being too much, right? But if he leans in and then leans out a little bit, then you start leaning in with him, right? It's a true psychology dynamic. Like if somebody's leaning in, you start leaning out, but then when you lean out, they come back. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense here, but it really is true. You want to give them the offer, but then take the offer back. Hey, do you want to check this out? If not, no worries. We're good. Right? It makes you not seem desperate. Let's just put that, it makes you not seem desperate, and you don't want to seem desperate. You just want to see who's interested in checking out the info, right? That's truly it. And I think about it all the time. I'm like, well, if they're not interested, I honestly do not care. My biggest thing when inviting, is I want an answer. I want a yes or a no. What I can't stand is when they don't respond. Right? I want a yes or a no. And so if I don't like when they don't respond, then I'm going to set up the invite to be a way for them to truly be able to respond without feeling stress. I want them to be able to say yeah or no. And so when you say things like, are you interested in checking out the info? If not, no worries, you'll get sure, or nah, no thanks, not interested right now. And that's it. That's literally what you're going to get. The answer sure is like so many answers. Like I get that. It's never like, absolutely, that sounds awesome, very intrigued. Nope, it's sure. I'll get like a one-word answer. And if you have a way of getting a one-word answer, if your message is short and it's like a quick one-word answer, you're more likely to get an answer from them. If they have to give you like a long drawn out answer, they're gonna do what I do. They're gonna look at the phone. Oh, that's gonna take time to answer. I can't do that right now, right? But if you just say, hey, are you interested in checking out the info? If not, no worries. They're like, oh yeah, sure, here, whatever. And then you can give them the info. So very, very important there. Now you know the psychology around what it is. I encourage you to make an invite, send it to me, and I'll help you out with it, right? Make it really, really short. Ask them the question, take it back. No worries. That's your invite. Send it to me, and really the goal is just to sift through who you're going to send info to or not. Okay. I'll definitely look over it for you. So that's how you're going to create your invite. Now, what are you going to do when they say sure, right? What's the information you're going to send them? So I have two different opportunities for you guys, and it really depends on what you like the most. But I realized recently that getting their information is so key. I'm going to give you guys a little secret. Really, nobody knows about this. And I realized nobody knows about it when somebody on our team messaged Amy the other day and said, how does Ashley hit Success Club when I never see her on Facebook? She's like, I don't get it. One day she'll be like 0 and the next day she'll be like 10 and then it's the next month, right? And although I don't like, I'm not bragging about this because I don't like waiting to the last minute, but I will say this, I've been building a list for a long time now. When I invite I invite 1,000 people in 1 minute. I have a text message thing and I go, oh, here's my invite, send. And it sends to 1,000 people. And then I follow up with everybody. Okay. I'm still inviting like to my list. I start giving out these recipes, right? And I'll be like, hey, do you want to get on my list? And they're like, yeah. And then they give me their phone number and email. And then I have their phone number. And then I text message one massive invite to all those people who I have a phone number to. Now, can you do this right now? No, you have to build your list. Do you want to learn how to build your list so you can do this? I would love to teach it to you. I can't teach it tonight because it takes some time to learn it. But remember these two things, because I'm going to end up teaching this and recording it because I feel like it is so big and it's created a lot less stress in my life to be able to keep this going. And even though I'm not hitting high success club numbers yet, my list is building every day. And so as I do this, I realize I'm getting better and better at it. And that was my big goal. I want a system so that I don't have to invite people, 100 people every week, at least, to hit Success Club, right? So what I realized is I can teach this to you guys too. So if you guys want to learn this, nod your head, type yes in the thing, and I'll put together a training for you, okay? That being said, to do this, you still have to be inviting to build that list, right? You can't get away from inviting. You can't get away. You just can't. You have to keep going. But this is what I did. I invited everybody to the launches that we have. This has been since Muscle Burns Fat. I've been inviting, right? I'll invite to the process or to the program that we're launching. If they say yes, great. And I'll tell you, I screwed up one really big piece. If they said yes, then I'd send them the info and blah, 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 right? If they said no, I'd say, no worries, curious, would you like to join my email list where I send out recipes every week? If they say yes, then I send them the link and they fill out their mobile. It's just a form on Google. They give me their email and their phone number and I have them both and I'm sending out emails once a week. Now, you could do this with something that you send out once a month. It doesn't have to be once a week. You can send out my emails. You all get them. You can send out my emails to your email list. Just wait till I send mine and then forward mine over to your list. It really doesn't matter. But some kind of value. We have ebooks that we get every month. You can send monthly ebooks. It really does not matter as long as it's some kind of value. Recipes work really well, but you can really get into anything. You can give other advice. Colleen, you have a degree. You could be like giving tips every month or something like that, right? So it as long as it's valuable, it's free. So like, as long as it's something that you think somebody could pay $5 or more for, then it's worth it. It's free anyway, right? So that's how I've been building my list. Now, the piece that I missed out on that I think is important that we could be doing now is instead of waiting, right? Say they say no, and then you ask, or you're following up with somebody because you sent them info, follow up, and then it's been months later, and then I'm like, oh, do you want to get on my list because you never replied to me, blah, 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 blah. I would say, hey, are you interested in looking at this information, right? For the, your invite that we were just talking about. And if they say yes, then say, great, what's your email and phone number? And I'll send you over the info now. Now, send them over the info through email, but you can keep talking to them in Messenger. Does that make sense? You're getting their info right away. If you can get their info right away, then you're building this long, massive list of leads, hot leads, people who are interested, people who were once interested, people who, you know what I mean? Building a list on paper is good, but if you just have a phone number and you're just working off of Messenger, my thing is I want to be able to teach you guys how to use your time so efficiently. Okay. So if you're going to be sending out these messages anyway, you might as well be getting their information so that you can mass send out messages later. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. I've never taught this before, so I could be like totally not making sense right now. Hope I am.
You're good.
Okay, good. So here's the thing. Let's talk about the process. So you invite somebody. Hey, my husband and I are, I'll have to just send you guys my invite when I'm off of here, but my husband and I are starting a new gut health program. Thought about you, and wanted to invite you to see if you want to check out the information to do it with us. If not, no worries, just let me know. Okay? They say yes or no. If they say yes, you say, awesome. What's your email? So I can send, what's your email and mobile, cell, whatever. So I can send you over the info. They give you that, and then you can send an email. Then you can go back to the place that you were talking to them, because don't try to change the location of where you're talking to them. It just won't work. They won't follow. They won't answer you. They won't. So get back to that and be like, awesome, just sent it to you now. And then let me know you got it, right? Then we'll talk about follow-up. If they say no, you can say, no worries, curious. So what I used to say here is, no worries, curious. Would you like me to let you know about updates of future groups or events that we have, right? That I used to say that, they'd say yes, and then I have permission to message them again. However, it's way better to just get their info. So if you can say something about, so that was one way I would say, curious, would you be interested in getting updates, sales, and info about free groups that we run in the future? You could say that, or you could say, hey, curious, would you like to be on my email list for recipes I send out once a month or once a week, however you want to do it, right? Whatever you feel like you can keep up with is what you should really say. You don't want to under or over promise, under deliver. You want to under promise, over deliver. Okay. However you want to word that. And then if they say yes, then you get their information that way. So that no matter what, if they say yes or no to what you have offering now, you're still going to collect their information. Okay. And they might say no to that too, which, by the way, I would much rather someone say no thanks and no thanks again, so I could just get them off my list and never have to message them again, than them not answering me. Honestly. If you have 400 Facebook friends, you want to be able to get through the 400 Facebook friends, right? Not just constantly have to message the same Facebook friends, all 400 friends every single month. Now I built my Facebook up to like 4,100 people, and I don't want to have to message 4,100 people over and over again. You know what I mean? So, okay. Awesome. Yay. You guys said yes. Yay. Okay. So I'm reading the comments. Okay. So that is your chart. Okay. I asked them if they're open to looking at info. They say yes or no. I have something to say on both sides there. Does that piece make sense? Yes. Okay, good. Now, if somebody says, where are we at? If somebody's, following up. After that, if I sent out the information to someone 2 days later, I make a note to follow up with them, because most people are not just going to write back and say, oh my gosh, yes, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it. They'll probably forget you sent them the information. 100%. Oh my gosh, I forgot you sent me that email. So literally all I do is I message them back and be like, oh, hey, I'm so sorry it took me forever to follow up. How are you doing? That's all I say. I just want the conversation to go again. So 2 days later, I'll be like, oh my gosh, hey, I'm so sorry to follow up with you. I've been super busy getting these people started in this new program. How are you? I want to say question mark so bad because I'm used to like saying things in text, anyway, and then a question mark, and then I wait, and that's it. And whatever they reply back, great, awesome, glad you're doing well. Did you get to check out the information yet? What did you like best? Or what did you like best? Just what did you like best about the info I sent you? Ask them a question. Okay, what did you like best? Not what did you get out of it? Or don't say, don't leave it open-ended for them to tell you something negative. like guide them into telling you something positive about the program. Okay. Awesome. What kind of goals do you think you would love to achieve with this? Any kind of question like that. But first I ask them how they are so they get the conversation going. Then I ask them if they reviewed the info. Okay. So no matter what, you're going to end up having to follow up with them. People aren't just going to grab the info and go, yes, sign me up, please. Right? It just doesn't happen. If you have to get on the call with them, feel free if they have questions or whatever. But I would first ask, what would you like best? And what would you love to see? What would you love to see? What would you love? What am I trying to say? What would you love to accomplish with this? What do you think this could help you accomplish? Those are two great questions. And honestly, follow-up is huge, but I'm trying to set you up so that you don't have to follow up forever with these people because you already got their info. So let's say they totally fall flat. Well, now you already have their info and you can mass invite next month. Okay. Now the text message program I use, I pay for, I do. So if you were interested in it, you'd have to pay for it. But I send one text and it goes out to everyone and it's not a group text, right? It's a text from my phone number. You probably have seen them, right? So it makes a big difference and I can chat back and forth with them in the program. So it is really, really nice. And they have lower plans too. So if that is something that you're interested in, you might not want it at first until your list starts building, right? But I really want to stress the idea of building this list as you go. So you could literally be making money right now and making sales and also building your list at the same time so that all the work that you're doing now is going to compound for later. Does that make sense? And then you keep doing the same work, but you have this list building so you can compound the work that you're doing. What other questions do you guys have about, I'm sorry, I meant to say, I'm going to give you the information that I'm sending to people. I created a page that you can use, has all the information on it. The form, you can literally just send them the form because it has the video right on it, right? So what I've been doing is I would suggest just sending the video as a 5-minute video. Awesome, check out this video and let me, well, I'll give you the verbiage, but just check out the video and then you can message them in 2 days if you haven't heard back from them. If they checked out the video, the first question they're going to ask you is how much? That's the first question they'll ask you. And then send them the form because in the form it has the prices. Okay. And the form also, they can choose all of their flavors and you'll have everything there. So I'll send you all the verbiage I use to follow up and what information to send them, but I need you to understand the process. Do you have questions about the process and why this makes sense to do it this way? And like, do you have any questions about that? Feel free, any question at all. I want everybody to understand it.
I don't know if it's just timing. This time around, it makes it seem less scary to do inviting. I don't know why, like, you know, because you've always provided the information, but this doesn't seem quite as daunting. I don't know why.
I'm so happy.
And maybe the fact that I don't have to post on social media all the time and then like get so super anxious about, is it going to be good enough? And then like, what if I don't get any likes and I don't deal with any of that shenanigans?
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing about social media. Nobody wants to see anybody sell on social media. How many people have you seen say, oh, I got off of social. Literally, I had a friend over. I'm going to tell you a story. I had a friend over the other day and I love her dearly and she knows what I do. But she never bought anything from me or anything like that, right? Most of my closest friends haven't. I mean, let's be honest here. My close friends have not bought anything from me. I still think we should reach out to them, but there's something about being really close to someone and then not buying from them. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so first, get over that. Secondly, she goes to me, I said, so what was your reason for getting off of social media? Because I haven't seen her on there for like 2-3 years. She goes, honestly, I couldn't stand the messages I was getting from people about buying things. I was like, Okay. So here's the thing. That's why I say we're just sifting through if they want the information or not. She's talking about those messages that you get where they're like, this, like just out of nowhere. I have an awesome sale going on, blah, 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 blah. You want to buy now? Or I think you love this group and you can buy this and that and da, 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 right? So I like when there's super short messages, super short, something that somebody will actually reply to, right? If they're long, they won't reply. They just won't. They won't even read the thing. They'll just ignore it. So that's number one. And the more you can make it like, hey, I'm doing this and I wanted to see, maybe you might be interested in it too. Do you want to check it out? Right? So that's number one. But number two, the actual posting, right? Just try to share your story without talking about it. I know that sounds so easy, but like don't mention the name Beachbody. I would never post a picture with that bag in there, right? I started not posting a ton of my workout videos. You can still do it, but you have to remember that you are not all the other coaches. Okay. So you don't have to copy what they're doing. If other coaches are posting their workouts every single day, like a video in their stories of their workouts every day, that doesn't mean you have to, right? If you're not comfortable with it, you have to think, how would I share this if I wasn't a coach, right? I have people who organically, like customers, organically have posted about their weight loss. You've seen organic posts about their weight loss, right? The only thing I would do is just leave out what you're doing, right? So, hey, maybe you're celebrating that you lost 20 pounds in the last year. You can go on there and celebrate it. You can even post a picture if you want. It doesn't have to be a before after picture, but just don't say how you lost the 20 pounds in the last year, because you post that and people are instantly going to start asking how you did it. That's the first thing. Like, your post should be intriguing. They're going to want to ask the question. It didn't get a ton, but it got some. I got some interest from the post that I literally just put pills and powder on the table. I just put pills and powder on the table and took a picture of it. And it got people asking, right? There's another company out there where they use liquid. And I'm friends with some of them. You know, they're kind of a competing company of mine, so I'm not going to like talk about it a lot. But anyway, they have this liquid. And so they constantly post this liquid on a spoon. And they're like, this helped me with XYZ. And that's it. This helped me with XYZ, the benefits. What did it help them with? People are like, what the heck is on the spoon? What is that? It helped you with what? How? Right? And then they start asking questions. So these are all great things. Sometimes if I do, where are they? You know, the sliders for the workouts, those sliders, those are great because people ask questions about those all the time. So if I were to do like an exercise thing, if I'm doing those, I'm like, I'm going to do a video with those because people ask, what are those things? You know, I'll be like, oh my gosh, these things kill my core, right? People always want the equipment, right? What is that? How do I buy that? So if you post something that makes people intrigued to, want to know what's that. Oh, a recipe. I used to post pictures of my meal and then add the recipe. I stopped adding the recipe. This is so good, and the spices they use is awesome. So delicious. Well, what are the spices? What's the recipe? Tell me, I want to know, right? This meal, I'll post a picture of my kids eating a new meal like that we made. I can't believe my kids are eating this. The veggies are hidden in it. They don't even know. This recipe is amazing. What's your first question? What's the recipe, right? So think about, how can I post something sharing my story that's going to make them ask a question? It takes a lot of practice, but that's what you want. It takes a ton of practice, but you have to practice it, right? And maybe it'll make you feel less worried because you're not selling. Does that make sense? You're not selling, you're just sharing something and trying to get somebody to ask a question. That's literally it. And then in the comments, when they ask the question, you can either tell them or you can message them. But I try not to put the answer fully in the comment, because then people will look in the comments and get their answer and then not ask the question. Makes sense? And here's the thing, you can practice this with everything in your house, like not just Beachbody stuff. Literally just practice with things, something that's making a difference in your life. Maybe it's I don't know, I'm really thinking here. Maybe it's something that you put in your dryer. Maybe it's something that's helping you. Just think of something that a product that you buy, just anything, right? It doesn't need to be Beachbody related. And practice with, just think around your house. Think of anything that can make people ask you a question and get in it. The other thing are polls. People love polls. Like, if you're doing, I know this is like a little manipulative, but if I'm thinking about doing something in my house, anything in my house whatsoever, any outfit that I want to wear for an event, anything, listen, I already know the answer. I already know what I'm going to do, but I am definitely going to ask everybody else what I should do. My puppy, I just got a puppy. There was a litter, right? It had two different, I don't know if you saw it, two different colored dogs, same kind of dog, but two different colors, the blue or the lighter fawn color blue, right? I knew which one I was going to get. I definitely knew which one I was going to get, but I'm going to ask all of you to tell me which one you think I should get, because people love giving opinions. And it doesn't bother me as long as it's not something that I truly care about. So if it's going to trigger me, I'm not going to do it. But right. So think about it. Samantha, you just put up that really awesome wallpaper in your workout area, right? You could have put 2 pictures up of showing 2 different wallpapers, right? Even if you didn't buy them, you could just go to the store, 2 different wallpapers. Even if it's something you're not even going to do yet, you're like, this is like, I might do this 2 years down the road. I'm thinking about doing XYZ. Which one should I pick? Which one do you like more? I'm thinking about doing something with my hair color. It wasn't that long ago. Oh, maybe it was like a year ago. I don't remember. I asked what I should do with my hair. I did the same thing I always do with it.
Yeah.
You know, but it gets people excited to give their opinion, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. If you can find questions that are fun, it's a lot of fun. So anyway, that does everything for you. It creates, especially if it's something that like really, oh, here's one. Do you guys wear glasses? Colleen, you wear glasses? Asking which glasses to get, and then sharing with them something like Zinnies, is that how you call it? The websites where the glasses are only like $20, but they're really like good glasses. You know what I mean? Then you're giving value and asking for advice. By the way, these are blah, blah, blah. I should have posted it. I didn't yet, but I went to Athleta and I paid $1.40 for $450 worth of clothing.
Nice.
I know, right? It's from points on a credit card, but it doesn't matter. I'll share that. They can do it. Hey, you want a Gap card? Get a Gap card. Get an Athleta card. You can get a ton of points from it. But people are going to ask me, like, if I post that, people are going to ask me how I did it, and I'm going to share it. It's a tip, right? So anyway, it does a lot of things. It builds reputation. Like, oh, they give me great advice. I'm going to come back to them more often. If I see, if they give great advice with whatever it is in your house or whatever, and they are scrolling, right? They're more likely to stop on your picture, right? Because they're, oh, what's she talking about today? She got any more good advice in there? You know, or what can I advise her on? So yeah, really think about these things. Think about anything in your house and just share it, anything, because the more people, you know, can interact with you like that, the more they're going to stop on your picture. And that's what people do. They just sit and scroll. I do it. I just scroll, I literally don't even stop half the time. I don't know why. I don't, it's like junk food. You just, and you might even say to yourself, oh yeah, that's pretty, and still not do anything, like not even comment or like, or it's really ridiculous what we do. So the more you can ask for suggestions, whatnot, is great. And then you're also helping your algorithm. I'm talking too much now. So I hope that takes away any pressure though from your posting, right? If you can just keep pumping out value like that, and when I say value, I mean a tip, entertainment. If you make them laugh, that's value. Anything that can get people conversing, that's value, because they're conversing. They're like talking to each other, right? All is it asking for their opinion, value, they feel needed, wanted, right? So that's all value, all of it. And then also build that list. I think those two things will really, really, really make a difference in your business. So I hope that helps a ton. Any other questions? They're like, no, get me off this. This is way too long. What's that?
You're entertaining.
I hope so. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go, but the thing I want to write this down. The things that I need to send you is what to send somebody once they say yes, right? Once they say, yep, I want to check it out. Sure. Then here's the info that you can have. I'll send you guys that. And then what else do you guys need? What else did I say? Because I forget what I'm talking about half the time.
The short, well, your short little blurb that you send out, like what do you send? Hey, me and my husband, we're
Okay.
doing.
I'll send you my invite. Anything else?
Will this address, like right now with the certain things being sold out because the launch was so successful in that first 24 hours, what we're sending out after they say sure, and we're getting down like the path of, oh yeah, I really would like to sign up. And we know that the Optimize Revitalize is not available till the end. Will there be talking point when we get to that point, because we're going to be hopeful here, right? You know, we're going to be positive that we're going to get down that road. We'll be able to address that, right? Like, so sorry, package A, B, and whatever is not available, but these are just as good.
So
Right.
here's the thing, the way we're talking about it is what's going to be the make or break, right? And I'll tell you how my mindset is. They sold out in less than 24 hours. Freaking awesome. Yes. When things sell out fast, that means people want it. And those who didn't want it before, now they want it. Right? Yes. I'm beyond excited about it. Not only am I excited about it selling out, I'm excited that we have a package that they can get in the meantime. Okay. So anybody who buys a package now or the streaming, whatever it is, right? They will get first dibs on the supplements when they come out. Now they probably won't until the end of April, but they'll be notified first and they'll get a discount on them. Carl Deichler told us, right? So all I'm doing is sending them the form, and the form is updated. I put a new picture where it says sold out, and then these two packages are still available. And I changed the options at the bottom. Okay. Do I talk about the supplements that aren't going to be available? No, I don't. And I'll tell you why. That will get confusing. It'll get confusing. But when we start, we will let them know, listen, there's these other supplements that people got with the first two packages. They're not available right now. You're going to get amazing results without them. And honestly, by the time you're done with this, your body will be primed to be able to accept them, even like accept them better, right? So yes, you can also, the other thing I was going to say is we can also offer them to get them elsewhere. So they're digestive enzymes and probiotics, and people in Canada, France, and UK weren't able to get them anyway. And Beachbody said, you know what, we're going to launch this anyway, because you guys are going to get great results even without those supplements. And if you want them, you can just go get them at the store. And that's how I'm just going to go with what Carl Deichler says, because you know what? He knows what he's talking about, A, and B, they're still getting started on Shakeology. So when it comes to using our products, Shakeology is super important, right? And as long as they have that, they can also get these supplements elsewhere, which I actually have some brands that I would recommend if somebody actually wants to start them at the same time. But if they want to wait, they can too. So I'm not stressing out about it, and I don't want me to stress out and then to put it on them. I know some coaches really are stressing out about it, right? And I don't want to do that to the customer. The customer needs guidance, right? So I'm just going to guide them into the next products that we have available. And what I'm saying to them is, you might want to get this now before this one sells out too. You know what I mean? Look, we just sold out in less than 24 hours. Are you in? Because if you're in, you better be in now. Like, get in. You know what I mean? It's so awesome that happened. Like, it's frustrating, it's annoying, but it's like so awesome. How much more credibility do you have after you just told them the first two sold out? Hey, guess what? Everybody wants this and they sold out. So you might want to start now, right? Like, it's, doesn't that make you more like, oh, give it to me, right?
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, that's how I'm handling it. You'll see it on the form. The picture's updated. The two products say, well, wait, sold out. And then there's two more. I made it myself. But if you have any tips or suggestions to changing it, let me know. So yeah, so you'll see it on the form. Does that answer your question, Kristen?
Yep, for
Okay,
sure,
cool.
for sure.
Cool.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm so
Ashley,
excited. Yeah.
is the Optimize and Revitalize the same from Ultimate Reset?
Yes, same exact supplements, but the packaging looks a little different, and the number of pills.
Quantity is different. Yeah, because I went and looked at it. I mean, I got my stuff, but I went and looked at it, and I actually have some Ultimate Reset, a package that I haven't gone through yet. So I was just kind of curious, because I think whatever the smaller container is, there's actually, I think, more in the one in the Ultimate Reset, but the bigger one, there's actually less. But just from a coach perspective, like one of them, the one
Oh,
has
I see what
42
you're saying.
capsules.
Yeah.
Yeah, one
I
has
see what you're
42 capsules, and with the gut protocol, we get 30, and the other one has 126, but with the gut protocol, we get 180.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But if a coach, right, was looking to make sure that they had it because they didn't get the other, that might be an option for them, because it's actually fairly reasonably priced coming through Ultimate Reset at a coach price as well.
It's all sold out.
It's sold out too. Wow.
Yeah, I looked at that right away.
It was kind of like, that was like the first place I went, was like, well, how's this compared to this? But oh, cool. Well, good. I'm glad they sold out there too.
Yep, it's all sold out. All of it.
You
Hold
should
on.
try to. Just kidding.
What's that, Samantha?
You should try to sell yours.
I do have an
Yeah.
Ultimate Reset. I
Trying
have
to
an
get my
Ultimate.
husband to do this with me.
So Jesse's doing it with me, and I
I
just got
know,
a
this
couple
one-
sign up.
Mm.
I know, I get it.
He literally
so-
just told me 2 days ago, going, I really need to, start losing some weight. I'm like,
don't you love that? Hey, it's the closest people in our lives, right? So,
right? Yeah.
Kristen, I wanted to remind you that because you were just talking about like skin and stuff like this, and this is for all of us. When we do these 4 weeks, I want you to document everything. Pictures of your face. When I did 80-day obsession, I realized I was kind of bummed because I started zooming in on areas of my body and doing those like before afters, like the back of my tricep or just the tiny spot over here. Do you know what I mean? But my problem was I did my pictures on my old camera and I did it flipped. So it was like selfie mode, right?
Mhm.
And the quality wasn't as good because the quality on the front of your camera isn't as good as the back of your camera, right? And I realized, oh crap, I should have done the back of my camera because every time I zoomed up, it got real fuzzy. So I was kind of
Mhm.
annoyed. So these are things to remind yourself of. Videos, are really good of just spinning around, doing 8 million outfits. I know it takes time and I'm like sweating by the time I'm done, but doing like 5 or 6 outfits for the first week. But then every week after that, I'll just pick 1 or 2 and then compare those. I mean, lots of different things to do with that. But for this, definitely face. Some people have like problems with their ears if they have like eczema and whatnot. Pictures of their ears, hair growth. Oh, eyes. Take pictures, like a nice picture close up of your eyes. People see more clarity in the whites of their eyes. Even the color of their eyes. I mean, these are all things that people have noticed. So just pay attention to these things and jot down. And even if you don't post it right away, just be like, oh, I'm going to take a quick picture of that. Your food, take nice pictures, as nice as you can. They don't have to be like, they don't need to be beautiful, but just try to get good lighting. Sometimes I take my food in my hand and I take it over to my window and I take a picture of my food. Just all kinds of things like that. Just document as much as you can because you'll want those photos afterwards. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say I do a lot of my photos as a video and then I pause and I scroll through to find a good shot
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
because it gives you more to look at, right? And more options. And when I do my before and after videos, I'll stand there and I will count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then when you put side by side before and afters, they're very similar to being
Yes,
on
that's
time.
good. I like the counting
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just mental and just I always look at what was the video I just did, like make sure I go, okay, yep, my arms were at my side, they were out, they were behind, right? Whatever that is, just remind yourself of those types of things.
I like that.
And people read when they look at stuff, they read left to right. So put your before on the left and your after on the right.
Yes,
just-
if you swap
it-
them, it's so confusing.
It's so confusing sometimes because I looked at one today and I was like, oh, okay, I can see it now. But it takes the brain a couple seconds to go, wait, that looks oh, okay. It's
Now, mind
Colleen
you,
always gets me.
it might keep them on your picture longer if you do something different.
well, that's true too.
Colleen
true,
always
too.
gets me on that. She's like, Kristen, you need to flog the picture
flip your picture, flip your picture.
every time. Every time.
So I think this was a great call. I think you guys are you're gonna rock it, and don't expect it to just like come all together so fast. It's your daily little actions that are gonna do it for you. So set an intention. I'll invite 5 people today. I'll invite 3 people today. Every day, invite someone, okay? And it will happen, I promise. But you have to make sure the intention is there and that you actually follow through. But don't be like, I'm going to invite 100 people every day, because then it'll be too overwhelming and you probably won't follow through. If you end up inviting 100 people, great. But set aside the actual time, put it in your calendar, set it aside, communicate with the people in your life, and then go and do it. Okay. It's more important to schedule that time than it is to like say, I'm going to invite 100 people. You can say, I'm going to invite 100 people every single day, all month long, and then you'll stress yourself out and not do anything because you never actually scheduled the work time, right? I'm only speaking from so much experience. So yeah, and if you need anything, let me know, text me, message me, call me, I don't care, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, have an
Thank you.
awesome night. Yay, bye.
Bye.